I think I'm happy for the people who are getting that $1,000 bonus.
Right.
It's 1 year. Let's see how consistent that will be, whether or not they'll actually raise wages for workers in America. They desperately want it and need it. Look, at the end of the day, this was a tax scam. It was not a tax overhaul. It was not, as the Republicans initially said, they wanted to fix the tax code in the United States. They fixed it all right. They fixed it for the largest, wealthiest multinational corporations in the history of the world.
If we get 3% tax growth and real wage growth.
We missed an opportunity here to invest in America. What we had is the refinancing of the House of America. They've taken out of the House $1.5 trillion plus interest. And instead of investing in college tuition for the kids or putting a new roof on the infrastructure of the house, they gave that wealth to the wealthiest multinational corporations in the history of the world. That's what happened in the
Okay, let me ask you a different question.
Transfer.
If infrastructure gets put on the table now, can you support it?
Look, I will support a robust infrastructure. I don't know where we're going to get the money from now. We just took 1.5. Actually, when you add the interest into it, it's anywhere between 2.3
but is that going to become the new answer from Democrats who wanted to participate in infrastructure before? Now they're going to say, I can't support this
like
because.
a tax bill, we wanted it paid for. And like in this particular case, where are we going to get the money from, Andrew? That's the question. You've depleted the coffers of the United States at this point of almost $2.5 trillion. Where are we going to get the money?
Okay, by Channel Joe, he would say that the Democrats depleted the coffers of the United States over the past 8 years.
2 unpaid for wars, an expansion of Medicare Part D. That was during the Bush administration. We've had economic growth for 80 plus, almost 90 months now. And I heard Joe talk earlier about the stock market. And yes, it has gone up, but it's consistently been going up ever since President Obama was president, and it's continued during the first year of this administration.
State and local taxes. What's the state of New York going to do?
Well, it remains to be seen. I think people are going to be looking at this and trying to figure out, is there a way in which we can to create an entity that could help.
There's conversations about creating a 501c3 so that all taxpayers are effectively donating into it as a charitable
contribution.
Do you think the IRS would go for that? Is that not a tax scam?
At this point, they've depleted the IRS. They're going to continue to deplete it. I think if the Republicans have their way, there'd be no IRS. And in fact, they're heading towards that right now in terms of the lack of auditors. They've done so much to gut the institution itself.
But is it not a tax? Would it not be considered a tax scam in your mind? If you think the reform is a tax scam for the state of New York or other states to create some kind of not-for-profit that shifts around how these things
This tax bill is devastating to states like New York and California. And I think it's a responsibility of the governors of those states and the legislatures, and both Democrats and Republicans, to find ways to address this issue.
Is this toothpaste out of the tube, meaning if you were to take the House and the Senate, Democrats, and maybe even the presidency in the future, who knows? Do you think that state and local tax deduction will change in the future on the upside? I
think it's tough to say that, especially if the president's there. If you don't have a veto-proof majority to do that. What I will say, this is the biggest bait and switch in the history of the country. The president went out and campaigned and said he was going to help middle-class America, and instead, corporations don't vote. People vote. And they have been left behind in this bill. The tax cuts for corporations are permanent, but not so for the individuals. I know my colleagues now are talking about coming back and making the tax cuts for individuals permanent. They're not even saying how they're going to pay for it. But there's a big bait and switch, and the American people know it. They see it, and they'll react to it this November.
Hey there, thanks for checking out CNBC on YouTube. Be sure to subscribe to stay up to date on all of the day's biggest stories. You can also click on any of the videos around me to watch the latest from CNBC. Thanks for watching.